Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Outta My League. I'm Nick Diaz. We were talking about the Super Bowl yesterday in the episode, and it's really amazing how every year the Super Bowl is the most watched TV program in the country. And for years, people have kind of theorized on the many reasons why the NFL is still so popular. And one of the reasons why the NFL is so popular is that they know how to sell their fans the greatest drug any fan could ever want. Hope. They sell the drug of hope. That drug of hope is a dangerous thing, and even though LSU fans experience great dread and embarrassment, hope is easy to sell because of what happened 2 years ago in 2019. Now, you can give yourself that little drug known as hope, but it's at its most potency when given from someone outside of your fan base. And the people selling hope to LSU fans this time is 24/7 Sports. 24/7 Sports the other day wrote an article titled, "Count Out LSU in 2021 at Your Own Peril." It goes on to say, at this time a year ago, LSU projected to be the least experienced defending national champion of the modern era. Then things got worse. Several Tigers stars opted out of the 2020 season, citing COVID-19 concerns. Then came a mid-season exodus, leading, in part, to a 5-5 record, the worst of any defending national champion since the start of the BCS era. And yet, one could strongly argue that its outlook this February is rosier than it was this time last year. This is rather easy to explain. Basically says LSU's youth is now battle-tested and returns 20 of 22 starters. Then the article says that the downside of LSU in 2021 is coaching turnover. Not necessarily that it's going to be bad with the new coordinators and such, but it's just unknown. Learning a new system. It's never guaranteed. Okay. But then the article goes on to say that LSU's defense was considered an anomaly if you look at talent and history based on statistics. It also says Miles Brennan is not Joe Burrow, but the fifth-year passer looked pretty dang good in his 3 2020 starts before a season-ending injury. A healthy Brennan might be a top 10 QB entering next year, and the thought is he'll be pushed by second-year passer Max Johnson this spring. That room is strong. It then ends by saying, pretending the 2020 Tigers have the same potential as the 2019 national championship version of LSU, that would be insincere. But the SEC West looking somewhat open due to major turnover at Alabama, Texas A&M, and Auburn. The Tigers have the talent to push quickly back into the mix and outside the top 10 program, capable of scratching and clawing its way back into the playoff discussion. Now, usually I look at the reactions to these articles like this from media and fans who are not associated with LSU to hear what they say. And you know what? You know what the majority of them said? They actually agree. Nothing in the article was outlandish, biased, or based in any false information. The article, in a very matter-of-fact way, stating every piece of factual information about LSU's situation going into 2021. And that's when hope starts to feel real. This isn't like the New York Jets who, when they draft an offensive tackle from Kent State in the 3rd round and they just have a really good feeling that he's going to be the steal of the draft because that's what Todd McShay said. That's inside hope. That kind of hope is dangerous. This, what LSU is now experiencing, that's outside hope. It's based in fact. And you add all of that up, and with LSU just getting a commitment from in-state 4-star top 100 wide receiver Brian Thomas today, which now pushes LSU into top 3 class in the country with 2 transfer spots available, hope maybe doesn't seem so dangerous after all. Because it's only dangerous. It all depends on where hope comes from. Outside of you or inside. This hope is coming outside of the LSU fan base, not just from inside. Now you know, LSU fans, that the 2021 season has real expectations. Now, having said all of that, there is a fan base within the LSU program that is experiencing false hope right now, and I keep on having to put it down. Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson earlier today had this to say. Russell Wilson says on a video conference that he wants better protection. Quote, "I've definitely been hit. I've been sacked like almost 400 times. We've got to get better. I've got to find ways to get better too." They asked him, is he frustrated with the Seahawks? He said, "I'm frustrated with getting hit too much." Russell Wilson then went on to say that he wants to have more say in the offense and in the personnel. Then asked whether he's available for a trade, Russell Wilson simply just said, "I'm not sure if I'm available or not. That's a Seahawks question. But I definitely believe they have gotten calls." And everybody started freaking out. Now, this is the sad part. Because they've gone through a lot of trauma with Drew Brees leaving and not ending the way they wanted to, and so much uncertainty with who's going to be the starting quarterback, the sad part is now I'm seeing Saints fans actually trying to convince themselves, well, the Saints should just try and trade for Russell Wilson. What part of not being able to afford to get Matthew Stafford or Deshaun Watson makes you think there is a slimmer of hope to trade for Russell Wilson? What, Saints fans, what do I have to do? I feel like this is going to be me and Saints fans this entire offseason. Like every single time an expensive QB comes up in a trade talk, I'm going to have to just put down Saints fans like a vet working at an animal shelter. Just get my big needle out and end their suffering before it even begins. That's what you're turning into, Saints fans. You're like those commercials with the abused, shaking puppies in cages and the sad Sarah McLachlan music playing in the background asking for a $1 donation. Everyone in the room wants to turn you off, but no one wants to be that guy to do it. Well, guess what, Saints fans? I do. I'll be that guy. But I'm doing it out of love. Not because I hate you, but out of love. I want to put you down gently so you can find your hope in a more realistic fashion. And it's not Russell Wilson. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook in the description link below.